Welcome to our German apartment. All right, so welcome to our room tour. This is our entrance room, and as you can see, it is fairly big for the size of the apartment and fairly empty. On a normal day-to-day life, this room is not this empty and echoey, I'm realizing right now. We kind of use this for all kinds of stuff because we have limited space. Sometimes we have a chair in here when we're entertaining people and there's no space, or we dry our laundry on this laundry rack, which we're going to show you later. Or we even have a little workout bench that we put here to do our workouts because this apartment is in the middle of Düsseldorf city, the 7th biggest city in Germany. And that means it is on the little bit more expensive side, but also space is very limited. And we have 75 square meters, which is about, I think, 800 square feet. And this is a 2-bedroom apartment, which in German is a 3-room apartment plus kitchen plus bath. This is basically the entrance room, which does not count towards these rooms. So follow us along and maybe have an idea in your head what you think this costs or what you would pay in your country for an apartment like that. And then in the end, we're gonna sit down and tell you exactly how much we pay for this apartment in kind of prime location. And if we're quickly gonna go back to the entrance door here, you see here that we have this big bar for safety reasons, which is absolutely probably normally not necessary. But then we have this speaker thing to the front door where if somebody rings, it rings here and then you can pick it up and speak to them on the outside.
Yo, was geht ab? Let me in.
Nobody there right now. Then you can buzz them in. We also have a little Wi-Fi repeater here because our router, amazingly, is on the one far end of the apartment. It's the only spot where it could go and it just does not reach our bedroom. So because of that, we had to extend it with this extender, and also because the German walls are very thick and made out of stone, so the signal is not that great. Then on this side, we have a little cabinet where we throw our keys on there and sunglasses. There's a little picture.
We have umbrellas, scarves, everything here at the transition room.
I think this piece here really gives the only good aesthetics in this room. But talking about aesthetics, look at this beautiful thing here. These doors are basically, they're fairly ugly, let's say. They feel like out of the 70s or 80s. I don't know if they ever were white, but this is definitely some yellowish off-white. Let's call it off-white. But they have in the middle this like half see-through glass thing, which is very ugly. So we decided smartly to put just wrapping paper in front of it. And we chose this nice like orange brownish color. And it actually makes it feel much nicer than before.
So it's also functional though, because every time someone is in this room, when someone's sleeping in there, the light will shine through. And I think the purpose of these doors were to let like natural light all the way through, but it's just not practical. We just have the door open if we want.
It was just annoying, yeah. And I have the same one towards my room, which we're going to show you later. We also have the shoe rack here because we are a shoeless household, and in good German fashion, I'm wearing my Adiletten today.
Look at those, beautiful.
The German stereotype, I thought, why not? White socks and Adidas Adiletten.
Sehr schön.
I kind of bought them, ironically, and they are the best thing I've ever bought. It's just the best thing. I don't know, I love them. I love them, okay.
And then this is where we keep all of our coats and sweaters and stuff.
Yes, because this big closet is our main closet for our clothes, and this was the only spot in the apartment where that actually fit in. There's not enough space in the bedroom, etc., which you will see. We also have our suitcases on top, and then in there, it's just...
That's all of Phil's clothes.
Jackets, clothing, sports clothes. But I think from here, we'll give it over to Deana, and we'll go into the living room.
So before we go into the living room, we've been living in this apartment for almost exactly 3 years now. We made a video of our apartment tour then about 2 weeks after we moved in, so it was very bare bones. However, the living room is the one that has changed the most. A lot of rooms have changed and some of them have stayed the same, but this is like what it looks like to actually live in an apartment. So here is the Wohnzimmer, the living room.
It got much fuller.
It is way fuller, but this is the layout we settled on at the time. We were kind of stressing on what we do, how do we do this, what is it gonna look like? But we came to this and we really like it. So this room has to operate as my office and our living room and our entertaining room when people come over. So it's kind of a full house. So this is my desk section. This is where I work, and it's nice because I can just close the curtain, block off the light glare when there is sunlight. So I have a standing desk, I've got the laptop, I've got the workstation, and this is where I get a lot of of the work and gaming done. We added some decoration here. So these are the pictures I like. My sister's an artist and she drew some. I drew some of those, and then I'm collecting pins from around the world. So this is the little decoration I get to look up every day. And we also have over here our cozy couch corner. Phil did get the TV he ended up wanting. I think last time we made this video 3 years ago, we had a much smaller TV.
Yeah, we got the 65-inch QLED TV, not an OLED, and that thing is much better. So big improvement there. Also a little bit of a surround system. As you can see, like 4 speakers, like a 5.1 speaker system, all from eBay Marketplace.
Yeah, most of it was from secondhand marketplaces, Facebook or eBay Marketplace. This couch, the couch tish, what is this? Coffee table, all these little things, and even the TV stand. We got a lot of this secondhand. As you can see, we have a nice plushie pile. Normally we put them away when people come over, but we're family, right? So you guys get to see our craziness IRL.
So want to talk to me about these pictures?
Yeah, so these are pictures that I took when we were in Indonesia. Actually, these were on the Penidas. That is Nusa Penida, and is that Lembongan or is that also Penida? I can't remember. These were on the Nusa Islands, but yeah. Over here is a nice reading nook. This is also all marketplace stuff. Literally every single piece of furniture you see is marketplace, pretty much. Phil was carrying a chair on his head for a lot of it, so thank you. But this is where you get the reading done. You can read in English or German here. We've got some German manga books if you want. That's my level right now. Fruits Basket in German, auf Deutsch, and then some of Phil's childhood favorites and stuff. But we also have this cute little goose we got in the Netherlands. He's new. He drank all of the wine, so that's clearly empty.
It's a nice drunk goose.
It's little things like this that I think makes it feel nice. Although I do think I want some type of picture or like a giant mirror here, like a circular thing, I think. Yeah. I'm not sure. Let us know what you think. It's never complete, but...
Yeah, we're far from done, and the walls still feel quite empty. We also we got this rug here, which was a big improvement. We went with the lighter color, and I think it was a good decision.
I feel like the rug really helps to separate the living space from my working space, so it feels nice. And we have here, Phil likes to put these capybara napkins at the end of the table. I don't know why.
They're epic.
And then we have this table. So this is a good table for when Phil and I are just here. It does fold out, so it does become bigger. And then when people come over, we clear everything out and have a giant table. We had 9 people over the other day, so we literally moved my computer, had 3 tables side by side. It looked a little rough, but it was nice.
Yeah, so that is one of the main issues that, for example, this chair, we have to move into the hallway and just jiggle stuff around and get another table in here. If you want to entertain people, that's just what you have to do to make do with limited space that you get inside of a city center like this. Alright, coming out of the living room, back in the entrance room. If you're a guest here, you probably have to go to the restroom and you're gonna be like, well, which one is it? Oh, I'm gonna show you. First, this one. This is our main bathroom. This is basically it. It is not big, but it is all that you need, basically. We have the sink here. We have a bathtub, which is fairly common, but sometimes you just get a shower, but we're happy we have the bathtub because I like to take a bath every now and then.
Loves his bubble baths.
Yeah, so again, this was the solution we came up with, just a little bit of limited storage space. There's never enough in these apartments, and I don't know how to get a bathroom to look decent. It always looks clustered. This is obviously the tidied up version for this video, so normally it looks even way worse. One thing we do have is the washing machine right here. Washing machine does not come with an apartment. You have to lug that in. It's a heavy thing. And sometimes they're in the kitchen, but for us, it's in the bathroom, which is fine. And in our video 3 years ago, we actually got a lot of questions, people asking, well, where's your dryer? And that has to be the most American question, because for me growing up, we never had a dryer in my life. In Germany, you would normally hang dry your clothes. We have this foldable laundry rack that you fold out, and then we put it again in our hallway room or in the living room or somewhere where it's warm-ish, and hang our clothes on there every time, and then they take a day or so to dry, and that is a very normal thing to do in Germany, and especially in these apartments.
Also, if you have a yard, a lot of people hang dry their laundry in the summer times with these nice hanging racks in the gardens, and it looks so nice, and you have freshly dried clothes.
But wait a minute, I can't poop in the bathtub? Where do I go to the toilet? Well, we actually have a separate toilet room, and the highlight of this apartment. So here we go. This is our toilet room. Also this room, very bare bones. As you can see, it's very narrow. It's all tiles. It's pretty mediocre. So we try to make it a little nicer with this nice Asian looking scroll on the door.
Birds.
We have some little rugs in there, which help a little bit. And then you have the toilet and a little sink for that too, which is kind of nice if somebody is in the shower or taking a bath, whatever, you can still go to the toilet, the other person can. So that's quite nice.
Show the thing that you use the most.
We have a candle here and then here's the best thing.
Show it.
Come over here. We finally got a bum gun. This is a bum gun. It hooks up to the water.
It's a bidet. People aren't going to know what bum gun is.
Well, it's a bidet, but it's a bum gun. It's a thing that every household should have because this is the best thing ever. And we got hooked on that in Thailand, the land of bum guns. Like, check it out. You just... Woo!
Yeah, you clean it out. You're going to push my smelly thing off if you go too close to that.
It is basically a water hose. And you do your thing, you stick it in, and then you go... And you're going to be feeling as clean as you have never had before. Yeah,
this is the demonstration you get.
So
We're getting way too close in this video.
Bum guns, man, absolutely awesome.
He likes that bum gun a little too much.
Yeah.
All right, we'll make our way to the kitchen. We have to hang a lot of stuff everywhere because storage is limited. However, we are fortunate enough to have a pantry closet. This is our clothing rack we mentioned earlier. And yes, I know it's messy. It's full of food. This is like the fullest it's ever been right now. But it's also a storage facility of a lot of stuff. I am so thankful we have this though, so we can just throw it all in there and close it up and not worry about it or think about it, so that's nice.
The apartment's already full, but without that room, it would be horrible.
It would be insane. But let's make our way to the kitchen. So as we mentioned last time, a lot of German apartments do not come with kitchens. It will just be an empty space. There might be some tiles, but you'll just have your hooks for like the sink and the oven, and that's it. Sometimes previous tenants will try to sell their old kitchens to you for astronomical prices, but fortunately our kitchen came with it and it wasn't extra rent or anything. It just came with this side, which is really nice. It already has like a dishwasher. I don't know if we've talked about that there. Although we do hand wash and dishes, we have the stove top, the fan. And then we also have our oven here where we do a lot of baking. Believe it or not, Phil and I cook a lot and we have a baking contest with lasagna. So if you've seen our Patreon or Instagram, you know Phil and I have a lasagna competition.
Phil wins every time.
No, he does not. Get out of here. But then this is our refrigerator here, nicely built in here. It's very small. This feels like city refrigerator, especially compared to like the US. This is our freezer in there. It's very tiny. We've got some random stuff in there. But fortunately, the landlord was nice enough to give us a mini freezer here. It's a little dirty. I'm sorry, I need to clean that clearly. But yeah. So this is what came with the apartment and is included in a rent. However, we got this thing here. So we decided to get this nice island, also from eBay Marketplace, but this was like the best thing for counter space because we cook a lot. I know it doesn't look like it in a lot of our videos. We're eating a lot of like pre-made stuff from restaurants. We do a lot of cooking, like 90% of our meals are cooked here. And it's so nice to have like just counter space to like prepare things.
Yeah. And it's massive for the kitchen size, but it is very nice to have just to have the additional stuff and storage as well, and storage for 2 chairs on the other side.
Yeah, it's a little tight if both of us are in here, or especially if like multiple people are in here, but it's so nice. It's so nice to have. I will let Phil talk about his hobby. The other table and up here is filled with Phil's other hobbies that he's had throughout our years of living here.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I think what she means is the coffee. Coffee is a tricky subject and it can definitely become a hobby. We went from using a Senseo machine to a capsule machine, and then we thought, let's go greener and get into brewing our own coffee. So I got this Hario starter set with this like coffee bean grinder. You can adjust the fineness, how fine or coarse you grind your freshly imported expensive coffee beans. Got all into this stuff. It's a science, it's a science. We went from that then to a French press and did that for a while, didn't love that. And then we went back to like a German version of a filter thing.
The German versus the Japanese version.
Yeah, the Milita version, not the Hario version. And we tried a bunch of different coffees. Currently we have some cheaper one, which is not that great. And then basically went back and used the Senseo machine again. I don't know if it's worth it, like this whole coffee thing. It is definitely a hobby and you can spend a lot of time thinking about that stuff.
Yeah, yes, I think you have spent a lot of time thinking about this.
Yeah, also I don't know why you haven't mentioned your favorite son.
I know, I was in the US, had to go back to the US on a trip and came back and Phil had this guy printed out. I love it.
Yeah, we took that picture. It's awesome. It's one of our stuffies. We're a little crazy about that.
Welcome to the room where the magic happens. Yes, this is our bedroom. This is our bed. In Germany, it's very normal to have 2 mattresses, and we do. Of course, Phil needs his extra big mattress, which is 140 centimeters wide. I have my little mattress with the full of the babies. I love them. But yeah, I don't think the biggest change has happened in this room. It's literally like a storage room because we just sleep in here. We get our hours of sleep and then we just leave it and close it up for the day. So in the summer, we have a bike here. Phil has a scooter there.
Yeah, I got an electric scooter. Best thing to get around a city if you're right in the center, which is nice.
Also Marketplace. I'm like advertising Marketplace right now. But I think we forgot to mention last time too, we have this, which I love in Germany, are these rollers. So it closes it up. However, it does make it super, super stuffy at night if you don't have it the window. So you have to lüften. Like in Germany, you must air it out. Like just open it out this way or open it out all the way and just let the air in to decrease your humidity level. Like I get really into it.
I always forget about how different the windows are to like the US, and this is very strange to some people, but it's very decent. They're also very nicely insulated, isolated in Germany.
They're thick.
Very German. We have like 3 blankets in the bed. In America, a lot of couples share a big blanket.
Yes.
That's a big no-no here. We like a little bit more luxurious.
I've become Germanized because I don't know how in the past to ever share a blanket with someone in a bed. Like we need our own blankets, and I don't know, I think a lot of countries do it, but in the US people will share a at least like queen or full-size sheet and just sleep under that. I don't know how.
Also limited space. We have a guest mattress that is serving as our headpiece.
Don't show that. Don't show that. We have a Klimaanlage. Is that what it's called?
Yeah, an AC.
An AC. And then we also have our storage. This is like a this is not nice.
The AC is necessarily for summer, because in summer in Germany it gets very hot for a couple of weeks and we're dying in here. So we got this mobile one. We shove it over to this spot and then there's a hose that funnels the warm air outside of the window. Then we can cool at least this room down in summer, because it is very common that standard German apartments do not have air conditioning built in. Some of the modern, more higher end ones do, but most common, like...
But a typical one does not. Like, I think most houses and apartments do not have air conditioning. It feels very wasteful. Also, electricity is way more expensive here in Germany than the US.
So heating, yes. Air condition, no. Almost last, we have another surprise after this, is my room. I don't know what to call this. The office room, the man cave or children's room. Like this is meant to be a children's room, and I think some people on the old video called this a children's room. And I think you're absolutely right, because I am a big child and I will never grow up. So, oh my God, my screensaver went off.
So God, I'm having deja vu, man.
Ooh. Alright, so this is, I basically always had a PC. I'm a PC guy, never was a console guy, whatever. Since the last video, I built a new computer.
He built that. That's so impressive. Look at that.
I was always building my computers. I'm not super happy with the case though. I think it's a little uglier than the one I had before, but it's decent, so whatever, I'm sticking with it. Got 2 monitors set up and some lights in the background. Sometimes I film videos in here for my second channel. I also still have the same pictures, these displays, metal posters that you can pick off the wall.
Decent, and they don't dust that much, so that's nice.
Yeah, and I have them for 3 years now. They are as good as new, so I'm happy with that. This room, most of the time, like the entrance room is a bit of a storage thing. So we got this little workout bench here, which is pretty sturdy and works very well.
I really like that. We've got our money's worth out of that.
We also got these like dumbbells, which is super easy for me to handle.
Now you're just showing off.
No, they're plastic, so it's not that heavy. These are like, I don't know, 30.
Now don't insult me. Those are pretty heavy when I lift them.
So we gotta store some of that stuff right here. I have this one shelf here where camera gear is, helmets and stuff. This one is the more organized one, the less organized one. Well, this corner is basically just horrible. This is where I just shove all the stuff, where we charge our batteries and cameras. Up here, with this, we have our little YouTube plaque, the silver one, for passing 100,000 subscribers.
Piano and dill.
Yeah, we also have a bunch of these plastic plants in the apartment. We also have a couple of real ones, but I actually, from a man's perspective, wow, I'm so out of breath. I kind of like...
You lifted that weight and now you're dead.
I kind of like the plastic plants, because I think they do look nice and you don't have to deal with them. If you've seen our video from 3 years ago, we went down here, but I want to show you again. This is very typical in a city center because the buildings are usually older because the center is built first, right? Then it spreads out. So we do have light here, and we're going down into our dungeon room. Be careful not to fall. Yeah, this looks a little dungeony, a little raw, and what is very common and saves a lot of butts when it comes to space is these little storage units.
This one's pretty rough. Like, this is very bare bones, and also there was a water leak during our 3 years living here where one of these pipes busted. So much crap was wet, our stuff too, so that sucks.
And I think our house has like 6 or 8 units in it, and almost everybody gets one of these little storage units, so you can put stuff that is not that valuable like in there. And also, because it's Germany, you have to separate your trash properly. And this is where it goes into our torture room. So we have to separate the plastic goes there, recycling and standard trash. And we have to bring it down into this very beautiful room every time.
Yeah, and then they pull out the trash from the bottom, which I freaking think is so cool.
There's basically a trap door that leads to the sidewalk in front of the house. And that's what they open and grab these and pull them out. That's how the trash car gets to the trash cans.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Before we let you go, we want to talk about how much this apartment actually costs. We're renting this apartment, and in Germany, the rental situation is very different than it is in the US. Most apartments in Germany are rented on an indefinite contract. It is not 1 year. It is indefinite. Sometimes it is limited to like up to 3 or 4 years, but normally they are indefinite, meaning they cannot just kick you out of the apartment. And some people are living in rental apartments for 20, 30, 40 years, their whole life basically.
So we talk about the US because that's where I'm from, and that's my experience with renting is mostly in the US and in Germany. In the US, they can and they will increase your rental prices often. So you have like a 12-month lease and then they might increase it by 10%, sometimes even more. Like when I lived in Charleston, it was often more.
And here in Germany, they usually do not increase your rental price. So if you're locked into a good, cheap, old rental contract, you're golden. However, there are some laws that I'm not super familiar with, but I think they can, on a 3-year basis, increase it for like a couple of percent because it depends on the city average how that increases. But for example, with COVID over the last couple of years, the rental prices shot up in Germany as they did in the US. Yeah. And we were lucky enough to lock this in kind of early in the beginning of 2022. And we actually got a very good deal on this apartment. And we basically pay about 900 euro per month for this apartment, which is just below $1,000. And there's something in Germany that's called Kaltmiete and Warmmiete. I'm talking about the Warmmiete, which is the warm rent. This is basically a below $1,000 apartment in an amazing location. And we're very lucky that we found this. And I think in our area, all the modern apartments, they are kind of like double the price now.
I think even for this size and even this quality, it's not the super nicest quality, but it's also not the worst quality. So in Germany, when you find a good rental lease, you want to stick with it. And that makes it very difficult to want to move. So let us know what $1,000 would get you renting a place in your country, and what does it look like? Is it bigger than this? Is it smaller than this? Is it nicer? Is it worse? Let us know. As always, thank you so much for watching. We'll see ya.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
We also like wraps, in case.
Oh my goodness. Phil and I went shopping separately and we both come back with like so many wraps. We didn't know. We have to eat wraps for the next month.
Yes.